Hello, it's Loop Dark Snout again, and check it out, sundogs. They're like mini winter rainbows. I think they're cool. Anyway, in this episode of BackBit Impossible, I come across the most confounding thing. This is a problem that threatens the entire project, and if I don't get a handle on it and understand what's going on, I won't be able to get past it. And it's a biggie. So, yeah, this episode is pretty much my debugging diary. What did I do? Did I solve it? I guess, well, let's watch and find out. Now, it isn't very obvious at the moment, but it might become soon. You see, some of the color is glitching, and I don't know why. Because it's based on the color that's already in the color RAM, comparing one frame to the next. You see that? That should not be. And this guy is not part of the problem. This is a new issue for me. Oh, that's just great. Why is it doing that? And once something is incorrect, it likely won't change it until the code comes along and tells it to. Somehow the color is out of sync, and that shouldn't be. Oh, is my color RAM toast? What is this? What is this? Oh man. Yep. I mean, I have. Well, in this time around, I do have it JSRing while it's waiting for the backbit to queue up. It's taking off and doing a subroutine. That shouldn't be enough to cause it to do this, because it's just incrementing random memory locations. But really, this has become bad. It's not just a few bytes at the beginning. Wow. Well, I guess I got my work cut out for me today. I sure hope my machine isn't frying. You know, every time something crazy like this happens, I always fear the worst. In the mid 90s, I had a power supply that was failing, and little bits were changing all over the screen and obviously in memory itself. So it was randomly corrupting programs that were in memory. Since then, I have had, well, I'm using I don't know if you can see it here, the light's out, but it's a Commodore 128 power supply that's been modified for use on the 64. And I was starting to wonder about it. So actually, I got in touch with Ray Carlson. If you've heard of him, you know he's a trusted name with power supplies. And he said, what you got when the 128 ones screw up, they don't go wild on the voltage. You'll be fine. So that's good. So I don't need to reinvest in a new power supply. This was, I don't know, about a year ago. But anyways, let's, well, I guess I'll put the phone down and see what I got, the new time delays. Well, this isn't overly promising either. Well, I'm going to have to buckle down and tighten up some code, I guess, or I don't know what. Maybe just get it going and see what it can do with 8 kilohertz audio anyway, because this is fudgery as it is. It's not counted. I'm running too many checks for the stop key and stuff, you know, things it doesn't need to do, and that's not counted as my spare time. Blah, blah, blah. There's lots of reasons. Oh, man. Okay. Now, if it was, if the BBT or the backbit was returning false values, part of that would be the rolled out code, and it would be corrupting stuff big time. But just these little bits of color, it doesn't make sense. But everything's supposed to make sense. That's what computers are for. So I'm really going to have to wonder about this one. And you see? Half a page. It's got to be some sort of clue. One possible thing, and I'm not sure if my code is doing it properly. It might be out of sync with one frame to the next where it's not adjusting the color properly. Like the color unpacker might be unpacking for the previous frame or the next frame or something. I definitely have to look at my code, but I've changed nothing. And we've already seen this play once accurately, so I'll have to look closely. Now I'm back to playing my latest BBT, sorry, with my 1.05 Impa final player. With the color screwing up, that was at 1.06, which I just modified this morning, trying to make it exit to basic properly and do a couple other things. So there's something with that code at least that is causing problems. I don't know what it is yet, but the fact that the color hasn't screwed up on this player is a little reassuring, but wow. Now I'm definitely curious. I found one thing that was wrong, but I don't know if that was the cause of the issue yet. But so far the color hasn't screwed up on this, which is good. But man, scary stuff. You do not want hardware-related issues. This is a 1.06 and it's not screwing up color-wise. I'm going to watch it closely. But before, what I actually was doing was loading it up, making a couple quick tweaks, and then running it. I don't think those tweaks should have caused any problems at all, but now I'm not experiencing the color glitching. So the mystery continues, and it'll drive me nuts until I figure out how to trigger it and why it's happening. And one reason, or one thing that could be the culprit, if any location is getting written, like if this area is getting written to randomly by something else, it is plopping something in the middle of a color buffer, and it's going to depack it in a strange way and cause problems, you can imagine. But I don't think anything should be writing to those areas out of place. So I'm still stumped, totally. Now, I am currently playing this about 10 times slower than it needs to. There's something I noticed when I was playing it back, and the color glitching has not occurred again. But first of all, let me address that. One possibility that's been drilling my brain here is my interrupt uses locations B0 and B1 as part of one of the color pointers. And I remember reading something about the BackBit using those locations as well. And I don't understand when the BackBit is executing code and affecting memory in my 64. To me, it's more or less magical how it works. And to know that it's actually executing, 6502 code or affecting my own memory locations, I want to know a little more about that, because I'm affecting B0 and B1 during an interrupt. And if the BackBit comes in and tweaks those memory locations whenever it chooses to, it's screwing my color reader pointer up, or the writer pointer. Anyway, this is what I noticed. Watch after he shoos all his berries off to her, the scene changes. And I noticed a quick flash of something in the sky. Now, either a cell is corrupted or the color is taking too long to update. That's why I'm playing it slow, because I want to find out. As soon as this scene changes, at the top of the screen, there should be a little blurb of something. And will it stay for a whole frame, or is it just the color update? I don't even think I noticed it. But now that I have it on video, I'm going to play it back and see what I see. And then I'm just going to boot this up again and play it fast for you so you can see what I saw. Okay. All right, here we go. Look at the top of the screen, right after he shoos his berries away. Did you see it? I saw it. And we're not getting any more color interference, which is also weird. The way it reads the compressed color, the very first frame is a full screen refresh, which basically sets the standard and everything branches off from it. So there really shouldn't be, it shouldn't get out of sync. But if it skips one beat at any time, the color may not be what they expected it to be, and it might leave it. But yeah, as you can see, it's not screwing up. Don't worry, that little blue flash, that's I remember seeing that earlier. It's trying to make sense of a tree trunk, and it doesn't have the colors to do it. But yeah, whatever. And of course, starting it up again, no problem whatsoever, right? Now, the syntax error, that's my fault because it left my this line in place. I mean, if I change that, no, let's not do that, because my program itself has actually been already overwritten long since. So the bottom half of it is just trashed, right? So I'm not going to F with it. Anyways. No color problems. Run it again. And once it starts playing back, it doesn't do anything from basic, right? Because one of the things I was thinking of is, what if I was jumping back to basic and looping and writing a string? Well, that's going to affect these directly. And if those are already preset, like this area is where strings go, right? At first, give or take. Well, actually it would be down here because PAL assembler initially locked in the top of basic somewhere over here. But if I was screwing with a string, it could possibly overwrite a color buffer before it had a chance to get decoded. But I don't think anything is writing there at a random time. But I still haven't really looked at my code closely. Tell you, the worst bugs are the sometimes bugs, and that's what this is. Yikes. I thought I saw a screw up. Tell you, it'll be like seeing ghosts. I'm going to be seeing little flashes of color that are wrong for the rest of my life, I'm sure. Like, what was that? Did you see that little cyan bit on his body? Yeah, see, that's not supposed to be there. I'm sure it's not. And I have enough recordings to show that it's not this piece. Yeah, it's a piece of grass that shouldn't be there, right? Oh boy. Okay, I'm sorry. Goodbye. Now these are the character set frames, the merged character set frames that I believe I ended up using to make the rollout. And as you can see, there is no bit that has a little green piece in there. Now, it could possibly be that my color packer does have a bug. I could be off by one or something simple, because I looked back at my original first successful playback of this particular bit, and that color was flawed. So something's not right, and it may not be some crazy conspiracy theory with the BackBit and memory locations. It could just be my own code, which is, when it comes down to it, that is the most satisfying possible answer. Something that I myself caused. But, well, I got to get going. I'm definitely going to have to look at this later. I tell you though, I am somewhat disappointed in, well, I guess I can't play it back from here, in how flickery it is. And I understand one of the reasons why. It's not only that that the frames were generated with dithering flickerness from the get-go. It's my program is compressing them as one frame individually and not taking into account that, for the most part, from one frame to the next, things are staying static, but it's changing it because of everything else. And it's affecting the characters that it ends up deciding to use. But even in the original footage, when the image was basically not moving at all, there was still some craziness going on with the characters and the flickering. So it's not entirely my fault, but I'm just a perfectionist. I wish I could get this working perfectly, but you know, it's gobbled up, well, half a year so far. But it's still fun, which is why I do it. Because in the end, what good is this whole program? It's good for nothing. Learning and possibly maybe one day using it for a video that you can actually publish. This, in my color unpacker, has line 7265 going increment DO20. Now, I just had it a moment ago load the value in zero phase location B1 and store that to DO20, and it actually crashed within a few frames in a strange way, and here's a photograph of it. But when I do it this way, well, you can see it just going berserk here, but sometimes it dives down quicker. Watch when the frame changes. You'll see it jump more. Come on. See? That's because it's doing a lot more coloring. So that's kind of working as expected. It does go over a full, oh, that might be a clue, because it's going past where the next interrupt begins, but I acknowledge the raster interrupt early, so it can still do the next interrupt. But I doubt that it's doing 2 full frames, at which point it might be incrementing itself, in such a way that, that might be occasionally skipping over. It's hard to explain when you don't understand it, but it might have something to do with the timing, where the frame is advancing either twice or it's tripping over itself because it still hasn't done 1 full interrupt. Because one of the last things it does is increment something. This could be the reason why it's choking. Wow. I'm sorry I can't explain it very well, but I can't think too much right now. I got to go digging into my code. Okay, Joe. Okay, I have it. Well, take a quick look here. Oh, there it is. I have it incrementing this on the way in and decrementing it on the way out, or regardless of where the entry point is. So let's see it crash. Now this goes beyond a certain color. I don't think it's going to change to 2 different colors, but now what does this darker section mean here? You see that? I don't know. I was kind of wondering, is it going to actually... It's not going to change to 2 colors. Like if it changes to something and never changes back, well, that just means that it's basically lapped itself and somehow surrendered. But neat, when it was zooming in on the tree, you saw that this came and it stayed down there for quite a while. Whatever, it's just another clue. I'll keep investigating. Sorry to keep bugging you. I gotta fix that line 10 because it's expecting a parameter when it's done and it's never going to get it. Anyway, I just ran this. I hacked it a certain way. Once again, just plowing through the frames as quick as you can. So I basically took the interrupt and I just put it in my main loop. It does execute in 2 minutes 56, so it's running at twice the speed it needs to. So I don't know where I was getting the 345 measurement from before, but I was putting some code in place. I was trying to test it for trying to find out if it is screwing up the colors in such a way where it's putting up something that is high res instead of multicolor. So, you look for bit 3 or bit 7. If either of those are clear, that's a no-no, right? So yeah, and I never caught it, so it isn't screwing up in that way. And the only colors that are corrupted now are the same ones that I see, like the green on the wolf at the beginning. There's a few frames near the end that are always glitched. I think they've been affected that way in the file, and I don't know how. So yeah, the digging continues, but whatever. I wish I could tell you why, but I don't know why. And that drives me nuts, you know. Especially a problem that rears its head, tells you it's there, and then sneaks off to come back later to bite you in the ass, you know? I hate those kind of problems. Man, okay. All right, the debugging continues. I thought of something, I tried it. It seems to be a clue as well, so I'm showing you guys what happens here. Now watch after the initial, you know, the goat's walking, and then they show the wolf, and as the wolf zooms out, you see that piece of green. Now look for the piece of green on his body. Here we go. This is at regular speed, right? And there, oh, there's lots. But you saw the green, and you saw all, and there's other interference, right? Okay, so as you can tell, that was a complete fresh reboot, and I still haven't fixed that. But, so we bring it in again, right? Renew. Which one is this? Imp Final 1.06. 1.06. Now here is, well, my raster enabler, and here's the raster interrupt code itself. Now, time for new frame, right here. This is what we're going to do. This is where it sets how many rasters to the next frame once a new frame is begun. So we're just going to up that to 5. So it'll be 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, right? Okay. So now it's got plenty of time between frames, so it's not going to trip over itself, or it shouldn't, right? Unless something really drastic happens. Now watch this. It's obviously playing slower, right? When the Wolfie comes along, you are not going to see that piece of green on him. That every clip, see? Nothing. So this has something to do with speed, and it's not like it's too fast for it. It is tripping over itself somehow. I gotta investigate. Of course, that's why I keep making these stupid clips. But yeah, that's a good clue. That's better than my hardware screwing up, or the BackBit corrupting the zero-page locations I think I need. It still might be doing that. I don't know yet. One way to test that BackBit theory is just have it continually queuing up data, not doing anything with it, but then taking location B0 and putting it into this color, and B1 and putting it into this color. And if you see any flashing, you know stuff is changing and it shouldn't. But yeah, that's a test I can do at any time. Maybe I'll do it right now. Well, whatever locations are at B0 and B1, good. I have it looping constantly. Just queue, advance, show B0, B1. And this is during the wait loop. So if they are going to change, they're probably going to change then. And they're not changing. That's good. So when I get out of here, whatever is at B0 and B1 is sure better end in a 7, right? All right. Well, B1 was a 0, but I forgot that I blanked the screen during that initial load. Don't worry about it. It's probably true. And of course, everything's wrecked. Blah, don't care. Well, this bug is still out there in the wild. I have not fixed it yet, but soon fate gives me something back. It kind of threw me a bone to, you know, lighten my load and cheer me up, and I gladly accept it. I was not expecting this, and in the next episode, we'll see what that bone is. I bet you it's delicious.